Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. This surah takes its name from verses 136, 138, and 139, in which some superstitious beliefs of the idolatrous Arabs concerning the lawfulness of some cattle an'am and the unlawfulness of some others have been refuted. Revelation period. According to a tradition of Ibn Abbas, the whole of the surah was revealed at one sitting at Mecca. Asma, a daughter of Yazid and a first cousin of Hz.Muhammed'e bin Jabal, says, during the revelation of this surah, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was riding on a she-camel, and I was holding her nose string. The she-camel began to feel the weight so heavily that it seemed as if her bones would break under it. We also learn from other traditions that the Holy Prophet dictated the whole of the surah the same night that it was revealed. Its subject matter clearly shows that it must have been revealed during the last year of the Holy Prophet's life at Mecca. The tradition of Asma, daughter of Yazid, also confirms this, as she belonged to the answer and the embrace Islam after the migration of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Yathrib. Her visit to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at Mecca must have taken place during the last year of his life there, for before this his relations with those people were not so intimate that a woman from there might have come to visit him at Mecca. Occasion of revelation. After determining the period of its revelation, it is easier to visualize the background of the surah. 12 years had passed since the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had been inviting the people to Islam. The antagonism and persecution by the Quraysh had become most savage and brutal, and the majority of the Muslims had to leave their homes and migrate to Habasha, Abyssinia. Above all, the two great supporters of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Abu Talib and Hazrat Khadija radhiyallahu anha, were no more to help and give strength to him. Thus he was deprived of all the worldly support. But in spite of this, he carried on his mission in the teeth of opposition. As a result of this, on the one hand, all the good people of Mecca and the surrounding clans gradually began to accept Islam. On the other hand, the community as a whole was bent upon obduracy and rejection. Therefore, if anyone showed any inclination towards Islam, he was subjected to taunts and derision, physical violence, and social boycott. It was in these dark circumstances that a ray of hope gleamed from Yathrib, where Islam began to spread freely by the efforts of some influential people of Aus and Khizraj who had embraced Islam at Mecca. This was a humble beginning in the march of Islam towards success, and none could foresee at that time the great potentialities that lay hidden in it. For, to a casual observer, it appeared at that time as if Islam was merely a weak movement. It had no material backing except the meager support of the Prophet's own family and of the few poor adherents of the movement. Obviously, the latter could not give much help because they themselves had been cast out by their own people who had become their enemies and were persecuting them. Topics. These were the conditions when this discourse was revealed. The main topics dealt with in this discourse may be divided under 7 headings: refutation of shirkan, invitation to the creed of Tawhid, enunciation of the doctrine of the life after death, and refutation of the wrong notion that there was nothing beyond this worldly life, refutation of the prevalent superstitions, enunciation of the fundamental moral principles for the building up of the Islamic society, answers to the objections raised against the person of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his mission, comfort and encouragement to the Holy Prophet and his followers who were at that time in a state of anxiety and despondency because of the apparent failure of the mission, admonition, warning, and threats to the disbelievers and opponents to give up their apathy and haughtiness. It must, however, be noted that the above topics have not been dealt with one by one under separate headings, but the discourse goes on as a continuous whole, and these topics come under discussion over and over again in new and different ways. Here we stop our first part. Next episode will cover the rest of Surah explanation. Thank for your time. Please stay connected.